Hello and welcome back to my channel. Thank you for being here. Thank you for joining. Thank you for supporting me. I'm very grateful for that. So today's video may be a short one, and I'm only going to briefly touch on just a certain area, and what I'm going to be saying is potentially a bit out there, a bit woo-woo, and I get that. But let's remember that the purpose of the video is really to kind of think about things differently and what the benefit could be in terms of what I'm saying, but you may get to understand that or may not as I get into the video. So I'm going to be just touching upon the LGBT community. Now, what if there is more to it in terms of what it is and why it's happening? And with that, I'm going to be moving into saying that sorry, it's just trying to find the words here. So we have the whole community, so there's many different actually names and identities now, which I don't get fully, but let's just take in general, in basic, the idea of let's take the idea of that. What if it was possible for, say, females to get pregnant without actual intercourse? Now, I did hear this somewhere online, and I know it's crazy as it sounds and not to believe everything, and I'm not saying I believe it, but it just got me in. It was just interesting to hear that. So what if females could get pregnant without having intercourse, which I guess in terms of the Bible we can look at Mary Magdalene. Did I say it right? Mary, let's just go with Mary. But also when we look at trans and female to male, if females to males can still actually get pregnant as long as everything is in order, everything else remains as it should. So that got me thinking, well, actually, if that can happen, then what if, and this is a big what if, and I know by me saying it, it sounds crazy, that it does kind of put me in the firing line for all kinds of things, but what if males actually could get pregnant too? Now, the reason I am saying this, I'm just thinking in terms of survival, how beneficial could that be? So if anything was to happen that, say, threatened us as a species, threatened our actual existence, would it not be beneficial for this to be a thing, for this to happen in terms of survival of our species as human beings, to be able to repopulate if we needed to do that quickly? Could that also be what's happening in terms of the trans and the LGBT community? You know, it is happening, we know that, because people are undergoing changes, sex changes, so that does happen. But what if it is to serve a potential benefit, and could that be very beneficial for us as human beings if anything like that were to happen? So yeah, what if females could get pregnant without intercourse? What if males could get pregnant? And then what if the roles, the split in roles, so male to female, female to male, if there was anything to happen that, say, wiped out a lot of males, would it be beneficial to have female to male, and vice versa? If anything happened which, say, wiped out a lot of females, would it be beneficial to have male to female, with that kind of intention being there to be able to repopulate? And yeah, I did hear, I heard online about females, and I think the same person, I can't remember the name, did actually mention, you know, what if it was a possibility for males to actually get pregnant? How, obviously that's, you know, that's out, who knows that at this moment in time, but there's a lot of people actually in the, let's say, conspiracy aiding ET community that does mention that other beings out there don't actually need to reproduce in the way that we do. and that we're actually behind, which if that is true, then we are, although we claim to be an advanced species, we still could very much be behind in terms of everything we are, we know, we do, the planet, us, and our evolution compared to other species out there. But yeah, there is talk of Three-Eye Atlas, which is a comet that's appeared in our solar system, and it's heading towards Earth. Some saying it's a comet. Scientists are saying it could actually be extraterrestrial or a UFO. So that's quite crazy but interesting. And if that is the case, what's going on with that? Is that a threat? Could there be an actual comet or asteroid that potentially does come into trajectory with Earth? And if so, is it smart to start thinking differently about how we would keep our species alive if anything were to happen in the worst case scenario? Now, if that is the case, then we know it is happening and it can be done through operations and hormones. But what if it can actually happen organically? What if we have everything we need for that change to happen organically, like us being in total kind of control or command and being able to allow that process to happen, as opposed to having operations and taking medication. I know it sounds a bit wild and a bit crazy, I know, but the purpose of this is to maybe just think a bit differently. If anything like that did happen, could this be a way for us to survive and thrive as a species? I forgot to mention this, so I'm going to have to edit this in, but also in the conspiracy community, I'm not saying I'm a part of that, I've listened to a lot of stuff over the years. There is also talk of them, or they, wanting to do a depopulation, sorry. So whatever that might mean or look like, but there is talk of them wanting to depopulize humanity. So I'm not sure what they're planning for that, if that is a thing, but having said that, I just felt like add that into the basis of this video. If they're going to depopulise, which we need to do it at a rapid rate, could this be a way to do it? So yeah, that's all I wanted to share with you today. Thank you very much for listening, and feel free to leave a comment if you want to. I know how this sounds, but this is what if. Let's think differently. What if? Infinite possibilities, right? What do we actually know or understand based on what we've been taught or told? Could there be more to it that we are yet to wake up and learn about, kind of thing? So yeah, please like, share, subscribe. Feel free to leave a comment, and if you are feeling very generous, then feel free to leave me a kind donation. So thank you very much and enjoy your day. See you in the next video.